Good morning. Good morning. Just doing a little sound check here. Looks like we got sound. Good morning. I'm Erin from Girl Catch Fire. Thanks for being here this morning or whenever you happen to be watching it. This is a Monday morning mindset. And here at Girl Catch Fire, our desire is to help people in midlife get unstuck on purpose and building happy, vibrant, interesting, lively second halves. And so Monday morning mindset is part of that. So we're going to talk a little bit about procrastination today because it keeps coming up, and I want to take it apart just a little bit and normalize a couple things. First of all, I was talking with a client on Friday, and she was telling me about a project that she's been working on for some time. Since our time together, I keep hearing about this thing that she wants to do, and I keep hearing about it and hearing about it and hearing about it. It's basically restarting a business that she was at one time pretty successful at. And she's just procrastinating like crazy on it. She's just not making any progress. And so when we got on the phone, she was asking me, she's like, I just want to take apart why I'm doing this. I just can't figure out why I'm not making moves or why I'm not making progress on this business that she's working on. And I'm like, you're not sure why you're not making progress? I mean, yeah, there could be a million reasons, or there could be a couple really simple ones. So, first of all, I want to take apart the simple ones today because, yeah, I mean, we can talk about trauma, we can talk about how you were raised, we can talk about your beliefs or whatever, and all that stuff is important. But sometimes the truth is, you're just meeting the resistance that all of us meet whenever we're doing something new, hard, or important. If you are doing something new, hard, or important, you will encounter resistance. It's a fact. And so let's demystify that. So when something that you're going after just feels hard and you keep quitting on it and thinking that something is wrong with you, what I want to say is actually, I think that inertia and procrastination are the human default. To be doing otherwise is kind of a miracle. So can we just take off the table that there's something wrong with you because you're procrastinating on something that is new, hard, or important? Secondly, don't forget that your brain isn't really designed to help you take risks and try new things. It really just wants you to do something that you already know you can do, that is safe, that you're not going to fail at, because it takes less energy. Your brain is a huge energy hog, and so it doesn't really want you out doing harder, important things. Just want you kind of to hang out and pass your genes on. Okay. So, with those two things as a framework for today, think about something that you're really trying to do that you keep procrastinating on, that you keep putting off and saying, oh, I'll get to that tomorrow, or you're kind of dabbling in it or whatever. So, let's do something about it. Let me teach you one of my favorite phrases around here. So what? Now what? Okay. So you've been procrastinating. Okay. That's normal. You're a normal human being, putting off something that is new, hard, or important because the work is hard. Okay, great. One of my favorite, I guess, stories, I guess it is a story. Elizabeth Gilbert told it in her book, Eat, Pray, Love. And she was talking about wanting something from, I think it was from her meditation practice. And she really wanted to have a lively, meaningful meditation practice, but it was hard. And her friend Richard from Texas said to her, he called her groceries. I guess that was her nickname. That's what he called her. Anyway, Eat, Pray, Love. It's such a perennial for me. It's such a great book and film. But he said to her, he said, you want to get to the castle, groceries, you got to swim the moat. So moats are kind of dirty and cold. And it's possible that the moat around the castle that you're trying to get to has gotten even colder and even dirtier. And maybe certain people are throwing alligators in it. Like, for instance, if you're trying to run a business and you can't figure out what your business model is in light of changing tariffs and all kinds of things. Okay, yeah, that would be an alligator in your moat. But the question is, so what? Now what? Are you going to keep swimming? And so And so I have to tell myself this a lot because I'm often working on things that are big, new, or important to me, and then recognizing that my default is to avoid it. So if you want to get to the castle, you've got to swim the moat. So what's in the moat around your castle that you're avoiding? Sometimes that's a good question to ask. Instead of what's wrong with me and why am I avoiding getting in the moat, maybe ask yourself what's in the moat that I'm so afraid of, and maybe bringing that stuff up to the surface and having a look at it will help you make some good decisions, right? So that's the first thing. You want to get to the castle, you got to swim the moat. Sorry, I wish there was an easier way, but there isn't. That's the deal. The second thing is comes from Atomic Habits, which a lot of you guys probably read a year or two ago by James Clear. Very good book on habit management, but he said every choice you make is a vote for the person that you want to become. And so when you are procrastinating, this is where the pain comes from. When you are procrastinating on something that's new, hard, or important to you, and you're choosing to do anything else that's easier, you know that you've just cast a vote for someone that you don't want to become. And that's where the, self-loathing comes from. You know that feeling, right? When you have made a commitment to yourself and then you don't keep it, you know that you are casting a vote for some version of yourself that you're not rooting for. Okay, so what are we going to do differently? Well, first of all, we're going to recognize that there's like nothing wrong with you. Like this is a normal human behavior. Again, procrastination is the default. It's the thing that has to be overcome in order to get done things that are new, hard, or important. So maybe while it feels good in the short run to procrastinate on something, like it takes the pressure off. Like, oh, I'll just put that off till later. It's costly in the long run because that's what my client was explaining to me is this state of self-loathing she was in because she's like, I know what to do. I know what I need to do, and I'm not doing it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. How's that feel? And she's like, it feels terrible. I'm like, all right, there's no magic pill for that. Can't fix that for you. The only thing that you're going to be able to do is just swim the moat. So one other thing I want to bring up today, and I think this is important, is when we feel badly about something. Let's say you are seeing what you want, something new, hard, or important, and then you're backing off it, making excuses, rationalizing, and procrastinating. Mm, how does that usually manifest in your life? Well, for me, it manifests like this on this phone, or I go get a snack. Oh my gosh, eating or scrolling. How many of you guys have that problem? Okay, well, eating or scrolling, we're going to talk a little bit about some strategy for managing that. But what, again, I want to bring up, and we talked about this about 2 weeks ago, is Stephen Pressfield says that all you're doing is encountering the resistance to creating something new or doing something hard or doing something important. He says that you will encounter resistance in doing any act that rejects immediate gratification in favor of long-term growth, health, or integrity. That's Stephen Pressfield. Go ahead and expect it. It's part of the deal. All right. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep caving to resistance and picking up your phone or going and getting a snack? That's what a lot of us are doing. That's what I do. Well, I had to set up some parameters around that to stop doing that. So here's one. Your phone, by the way, is a tool in the hands of resistance, right? So every time you sit down to do your work or you make a plan to make some sales calls or whatever, and you end up looking at Instagram instead, man, I'm telling you, that is just stealing little bits of your life from you, little bit at a time. And one of the tools that I have found that's been super helpful is basically just a social media app blocker. I use Screen Zen. Screen Zen, I talk about it all the time. There are several. And this one, you can just make a donation to it. I don't even think it costs anything except for a donation. But Screen Zen has helped me set up those parameters that keep me from just checking out and waking up 2 hours later still staring at my phone because I've been looking at reels. Now, listen, maybe you don't do that. Maybe that's not a problem for you. But it was a huge problem for me. And what's happened over time, I've been using this thing for months now. I've been using Screen Zen. It's probably been 2 or 3 days since I've been on social media at all. And I get that this is ironic because I'm on social media right now talking to you, but I'm tired of letting things steal my time. I'm tired of letting resistance use things like social media to keep me procrastinating on the things that are new, hard, or important. And maybe you need to take a look at that as well and set up some limits on your phone so that you can't keep avoiding your actual work. And the other thing I've noticed about blocking my own screen time is that my mental health is better, like by a long shot. It's rare that I get off a little scrolling session and I feel good about myself or my business or my life or whatever. It's not designed that way. So that's just one area that you might be struggling with. And Screen Zen has been incredibly helpful. And you set what the blocking parameters are. You get to decide. Okay. So anyway, and what about eating? Same thing. Like I work at home. So like after this, I have a habit of just getting up and going and looking in my fridge. I'm not even hungry. Again, it's a tool in the hand of resistance. What do you want to do about that? Maybe you do want to leave your house and set some parameters around that. So, I guess another thing that's important is to ask yourself, like, okay, so what do you actually want? Are you clear? Are you clear on what the new, hard, and important thing is? That's step one. I mean, if you don't have any idea what it is you're trying to work on anyway, or what might be new, hard, or important for you in your second half, okay, that's a good place to start. What do I actually want? We help people with that around here, by the way. A second question is, why do you want that? You better have a really sturdy why because it's your why that's going to keep you from picking up your phone. It's going to keep you from getting up from your desk. It's going to help you get the first things done first, the most important thing done first. If you have a really good why, and when things get hard, it'll keep you in the game. So, what's the why behind what you're doing? And then, thirdly, um, I mentioned this earlier, but what's in the moat? What's in the mode? Is it external stuff or is it internal stuff? Doesn't matter. Can be both. Maybe you just don't want to do the hard work. Okay. That's where your why comes in. Yeah. I don't want to work that hard on this. Well, maybe you don't want it that bad. Maybe your why isn't strong enough. Maybe you're finding that your motives are wrong. I don't know, but it's good to investigate that stuff. And then or maybe there's some fear of failure in the moat. That's pretty common. Also, there can be complete chaos in your life. I tell my clients all the time how important it is to have some stable routines, especially if you work for yourself. This particular client who's building a business for herself, you have got to have some stable routines. Morning and evening routines, times when things are done, time blocking. This is how we help our clients do it. You can get this on Amazon anyway if you need one. But just deciding what's the most important thing and getting it in the calendar and actually doing it. Super, super important. Bottom line is everybody wants a magic pill to make it easier, and they don't exist. To get to the castle, you gotta swim the moat. That's all there is to it. Nobody's gonna be able to give you a magic pill to get you to do your work. They're just not. There's just no you just have to do the work. You have to get in there. You have to put one tiny little foot in the moat and then maybe another foot and it's cold and yucky or whatever. But next thing you know, you're swimming. And that's when things start to get really exciting. And the truth is, the reward for the effort is the person you become in the process. Whatever your goal is, whatever you're working on, is not the goal. It's the person that you become in the process, in the pursuit of the goal. And so, all right, here's a couple questions. What's every step that you would have to take to get from where you are now to where you want to be? Every one that you can think of, just brainstorm it, jot them down, mind map it, just free associate, like write down all the things that you could think of that you would have to do that you know right now to get from where you are now to where you want to be. Second step, how do you make every single one of those steps as small as possible? How do you break them down into their smallest possible components so nothing feels overwhelming? There may be 1,000 things on there, but if they're this big, it's not overwhelming. And then what's the first thing you can do today? What's the next right step? What is the first step you can take? Maybe it's something as simple as sending an email to somebody asking them a question. Maybe it is simply placing a phone call that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's finishing up the business plan. Maybe whatever it is, can you do it today, right now? to break the cycle of resistance. Break resistance back. Resistance is back. Get off your phone. Get out of the kitchen. Get your butt in the chair and do the work. That's what swimming the moat looks like, friends. I hope you have a great day. Hope this helps you. Have a good one.